to make it as subtle as possible so that you couldn't really tell that they were there. I tried with all these different accents, but I didn't want it to sort of ping out in the episode so that people went, oh, did you hear that accent? So I tried to just sort of make them as real as possible and not caricatures, and I hope that was achieved. Oh gosh, well, I think I found out in sort of April, I think it was, and then we started in about a month. So yeah, it was a lot of cramming and walking around my living room in different sort of gaits and accents and stuff. I think my husband was sick to death of it by the end. I love the Eurus wig, Alanis Morissette, strange Alanis Morissette wig. Yeah, that was probably my favourite, the luscious locks of Eurus, yeah. Each one?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, Elizabeth should definitely be T. Faith, definitely T, that would be absolutely. And Elsa would have to be coffee, black coffee. And Eurus would be cortado, yeah, coffee, really, really strong coffee, no sugar. I think it had everything to do with the awesome chemistry. I don't know really. There's a rapport there. We know each other, and so to play families, sister and brother, even though he didn't know that she existed, I think there was definitely something there, and it meant that there was an ease. So yeah, I'd hope it had some sort of influence. I don't play the violin. No, they gave me a violin about 2 weeks before, and I frantically practiced. I had played the cello when I was younger, so I had some sort of experience, but no. And yeah, we would absolutely have a violin off, and I would win. Well, I think my first day of filming was shooting Dr. John Watson. That was the very first day, and so that was probably the most memorable and the hardest, because I got onto set and they just gave me this gun and said, this is how you pull the trigger, and this and now go. And that was the most nerve-wracking. Yeah, it was pretty intense. And also filming in those cells, we were, every day, it felt like we had been through the mill. Yeah, we did it, I think it was sort of 4 consecutive days, and by the end of day 1, we were all a bit like, oh gosh, will this ever end? But no, it was so much fun. No, I've worked with Andrew. We did a play together, oh gosh, probably about 10 years ago now. So we've known each other a long time, so it was just brilliant. I was so excited to do the scene. When I read the episode and saw that scene was there, I just couldn't wait. Whether the Victoria line was running, what Santa was bringing for Christmas, whether they'd been good or bad, yeah, just things like that. Oh, I've no idea what they would say. I think you need some violin practice. Yes, I was a fan. I was a fan. Oh, it's so hard. Oh, it's so hard. I think it would probably be, my favourite moment would be this episode after the fall off the roof, and when he goes into the restaurant and reveals himself. I have to say, I just love that. It was joyous. Do I have a favourite case? Yes, it would have to be The Hound of the Baskervilles. Absolute classic. Yeah, but they've known me a long time, so sadly I couldn't get away with that one. They didn't know until episode 2, so then I got lots of phone calls at the end of episode 2 saying, I cannot believe that you've kept this from us. It was exceptionally hard to keep it from people. I just didn't talk to people for about 8 months. But no, I told my husband, obviously, because I kept disappearing to Cardiff for weeks on end, and he thought I was having an affair, so I had to tell him. Oh, joy. It was just brilliant. It's every actor's dream to play that many characters, but also Eurus at the end. I could do all those things that, you know, you aren't allowed to do in real life, like shooting people and, yeah, hanging people out of windows and putting people in airing cupboards and things, yeah. So, yeah, it was just brilliant.